So today we're going to take a look at Mr., MSTY, and Bitcoin. And we're also going to take a look at CONY because I did buy some shares of CONY. Hello my friends, this is Legend. So today we're going to take a look at MSTY, Mr., and Bitcoin just to see where it's setting. Is it at any resistances or any supports? And to see if my purchase yesterday was a good move or did it come down a little bit lower and maybe would be a good time to buy again. And then we'll finish it up with CONY, where I did purchase a few shares of that one as today was the X date with the sole purpose of trying to bring down my average on CONY. So let's just go ahead and jump right into the charts and check it out. All right, so here we are on MSTY, and we're looking at the actual chart. And this actual chart is the actual movement of the candles due to the price movements, okay? So as you can see, we did have this originally as a support line. We did break down below it. We did touch it here, and then we finally did break it here, right? So there's our confirmation candle that changed this support line to a resistance line now. Then, of course, we did have another red candle, and today we are actually at a bit of a doji candle, right? A little bit of an indecision, a little thin body with a wick on top and a wick on bottom. That is a bit of an indecision in the market. Now, this is after hours, so this is the closing price currently at $21.26. It did open today at $21.25, went as low as $20.82, and as high as $21.49 before closing at $21.26. It was up 11 cents for the day at a 0.52%. Okay, so looks like just pretty much, like I said, an indecision in the market. It didn't know whether to go up or down. And we'll look at Mr. to see if we can get a better idea of what happened there. I was really hoping that MSTY was going to stay above this 22.22 because I was hoping that if it did stay up here and when they do pay out next week for the distribution, that the distribution amount that's paid out would keep it above that $20.38, as that is the original opening price of MSTY. I'd like to keep it above it, but if it does come down below it, it could possibly give us another opportunity to make some more purchases, right? So with every good, there's a bad, and with every bad, there's a good. But as you can see, we did have a little bit of an indecision in the market due to this candle right here. And that's what that is showing. And I realize this is MSTY, but if we look at Mr., I'm sure we'll see the same kind of result there. So let's just go ahead and flip this to the adjusted chart. And let's take a look at the Bollinger Band and the RSI. So let's flip from actual to adjusted. Hit the done, and there we go. Now we can turn on our Bollinger Band, and now we are showing the Bollinger Band, and as you can see, it is below the Bollinger Band. Okay, so that is the first signal of a potential buy, right? But it is a green candle. I don't necessarily like to buy on a green candle day. I prefer a down day to buy, right? And then also you notice that the RSI 2, whereas yesterday it was below the 10, and we had a red candle, and it was below the midpoint on the Bollinger Band. So some good signals for a good buy point. Now, today's candle is green. So right there for me is already not my first choice to purchase. But we are below the midpoint, so that is a good sign as far as in a good time to possibly buy. But with that RSI above that 10 is why I am passing on purchasing more of MSTY at the current time. I prefer that red candle, and I prefer that RSI 2 to below 10. So as you can see here, we did have some nice green volume, but you can see this MACD. It is crossed, right? It did cross down, and now it's starting to separate just a bit on the downside. We are getting some negative momentum here, this negative red bars on the bottom down here. That is increasing a little. But if you can see here, the RSI 14 was at 50.31, and today it closed at 51.4. So there is a slight tick up, but not much. But that's mostly just because really it didn't know whether to go up or down for the day, as we have that really thin body on that candle. So for this one, personally, it is not a buy point for me. Yesterday was a buy point. So let's just go over to MSTR and let's see where that one's at, and if we can get any ideas if we're getting ready to hit a support. So here we are on MSTR. And as you can see, we do have this support line right here at 404.13. We did come down, we did bounce off of it right here, and we've come down and we've again started to test that support line right here. So it looks like we are staying between this 404 and 421 range again. We'll see. Can we break below it or will we break above it? But right now we are staying within that range. We do have a green volume, but with those negative momentum bars increasing, this one could be coming on down. But as you can see, there's that doji candle, just an indecision in the market. Thin body with a wick on top and a wick on bottom does not give a clear sign if it wants to go up or down currently. Because even though we do have negative momentum here, and we do have a cross down on the MACD, you can see that the RSI 2 is slightly up, right along with the RSI 14. It went from 50.49 to 51.31. So a lot of inconsistent moves in the indicators would lead you to this indecision movement in that candle. So let's just see. Did Bitcoin move much today, or is it just kind of sitting flat? And there we go. We are just still staying within this same little range area. We're between roughly that 19.3 to about, say, 17. So it is staying within that range right here. But notice here we had this red candle, and this green candle did engulf it, right? We did get an engulfing candle right here, meaning that it is covering the entire length of that red candle. That's a little bit of a positive sign right there. What's not a positive sign is the long wick on top, right? But it does have a long wick on the bottom. So again, there is a bit of indecision even in the Bitcoin here. Because we did have that separation, we are trending down on that MACD. The momentum negative side is increasing. It is going down slightly. So this one here is just somewhat trading sideways, right? It is staying within this range, possibly just consolidating. Hopefully that it is just cooling down before taking back off, right? That's my hope. Now, today I did make a purchase in CONY, and let's just take a look at that. So here we are on CONY, and I did purchase some of CONY. As you can see, we are on the adjusted chart, and let me flip that to the actual chart to show the actual price drop, as you'll see during the X date. So let's just flip this to actual, done, and there we go. Now you can see yesterday's price here. There's the candle way up here. And then when it opened all the way down to here, right? That's that price drop as they remove the distribution amount out of the price of the stock. So that drops the price. So since my average on CONY is in the $12 range, I believe, this $9 purchase area is a good way for me to average down, right? So I was able to purchase 10 shares of CONY today for $9 per share. Now, as you can see, it did open at $9.23 and it went as low as $8.95. So what I had done is earlier in the morning, I had set a buy point at $9 even to purchase 10 shares. And when and if that price ever got down to $9, then it would purchase those 10 shares for me. So when it did drop below that $9, that triggered that buy and purchased those 10 shares for me. So that's always an option for you to do, is to set a limit order. You can put a price in there and you can set it for the day, so it's good for the day, or you can set it until you close it and cancel it, which usually will last about 30 days before it cancels it on its own. But you can set a price that you want to actually buy those shares at, and if it ever got down to that price, it would actually purchase those shares for you. So that's what it did here. It went down below that $9 and purchased those shares for me. And it looks like it ended up closing today at $9.05. So we are seeing a bit of a down day. We do have some red momentum building here. So overall, I feel like I got a good buy on CONY. Now, just on a different note, just to let you know, I am on vacation. And we are actually living the high life at the beach. I did a little short on that, and you can check out that video if you would like. But just kind of wanted to let you know that if any of the video or sound is off or anything like that, my apologies, but I'm not working with my regular equipment. I'm trying to work remotely and still get the videos out. Now, I did not post any for the last few days as I could not get around to making videos, but I'm going to try to make a few more before vacation is over. And then once that's over, I'll be back in the saddle and we'll be back at it. So I think I'm going to wrap it up right there. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button. It'd be much appreciated. And as always, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence before you get into any stock plays. And until next time, legend out.